First of all, I would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Miraoui, Madame la Directrice, Professeur Jamil Al-Alami, Ilyas Az-Ziwi, and the whole CNRS team for this kind invitation to be here with you today. So I was asked to speak about professional development for junior faculty. I know that earlier this morning somebody made a comment that there is a gap between both sides, the competencies and Moroccan. So I want to make this very clear for me. I am not going to propose anything that I'm suggesting that it has to be transposed to Moroccan system. But what I'd like to share with you is the best standards and best practices in US regarding professional development for junior faculty. And I know that there is a lot of university presidents and students that you can then extract whatever you think is applicable to your institution. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about before I get into the granulation is in the US, and I know again, I'm not saying it has to be the same here, but think about it. In the US, before developing any program, you have to have a strategic plan within the government. You have to have a short and a long-term strategic plan for that specific goal. Let's just talk about professional development. For professional development, the strategic plan of the government has to incorporate what do we need to achieve in a short term and what do we need to achieve in a long term. And once you do that, you come to the next step, like for example in US, you have les appels d'offres. So you come up with RFAs, requests for applications. So you come with a request for application in which you're very specific. You ask universities to submit proposals to train and mentor junior faculty. And to that end, I will share with you my own experience. I have been running a program for junior faculty training and mentoring for the last 17 years, and the program is still ongoing. This program is sponsored by about $2 million a year. And again, I do understand that I'm not transposing anything, but a shorter version of this program can also be considered here. So what do we do? So there is an RFA, an appel d'offre that comes out. It's specifically for training and mentoring junior faculty. Now, as a faculty myself, I will look at the appel d'offre and I will look at what are the metrics. So there are 3 metrics that they will ask you for. One is they want you to train and mentor people so that they can secure grants and funding. So that's the first metric. The second metric is the number of publications has to increase. And the third metric is promotion, faculty promotion, because these programs for junior faculty, they're usually targeting assistant professor level. And I hope what I heard here in Morocco that assistant professor level cannot apply for grants is not true. Because if that's true, that's a big no-go. So going back, so we have 3 metrics. Then we get as a group, and I'm sharing with you how we do it in the US. Then we start developing training programs to meet those 3 metrics. So the first one about achieving or securing grants, what do? We have this intensive 2-week training during the summer when all the faculty are in vacation, finished with the teaching. We put them in a room. It's like a boot camp. Literally, سميتو كنسدو عليهم في واحد 2 سمان, and all what we do is we bring in senior faculty, people who have been extremely successful in generating fund, and they have one-to-one in going through the whole process of applying for grant applications. So they take you through every step, and because it's one-to-one, and during that process, because it's a 2-week period, we train them to start writing a draft grant application in their interest. And what do? The next step is mentoring. So during that time, we pair every junior faculty with a senior mentor, which will be the primary mentor. However, every single person, oh, I already 5 minutes. Am I already in 5 minutes? Okay. So you pair them with a primary mentor, but in general, every university should have a mentoring team. So you'll have a scientific mentor who is really knowledgeable about the topic of the research. You have a career mentor who is not necessarily familiar with the topic, but has experience in mentoring and training. Because remember, the third goal, the third outcome measure is promotion. Because these faculty, you don't want them to get grants, but they need to be aware that, you know, at my university, you need to work for 4 years, you need to generate a certain number of publications. So you have a scientific mentor, you have a career mentor, and the other one, which is a must-have, and I don't know if you guys have it, is you have to have a statistician epidemiologist. Now, no matter what kind of research you do, you have to have a biostatistician and epidemiologist, even if you work with bacteria, because you have to do power calculation and all that. So I'm going to go very, very quick. So we get them for 2 weeks. We train them in writing grants. Then we train them in successful publications, because they go together. And we teach them about career development. What do you need to, because honestly, the majority of junior faculty, they're just postdocs, they finished, they have no clue, even if they are within the same university. What is the process by which you can be promoted to a higher level? So that mentoring team really plays a role, and we tell them, look, before you leave the 2 weeks, we pair them with a mentoring team, and they take it from there. So I think at this point I'm going to mention the second question, or the second part of the question, which is funding. So funding, for example, in the US, and I think most of you know, there is a significant amount of funding. I'm talking about millions of dollars that are destined only for countries like Morocco. And myself and others of AMCN who are sitting here with us in the room, we have been trying for many, many years to have some kind of collaboration with institutions in Morocco so they can have access. Because, you know, you cannot just come and apply. You have to establish prior collaboration to be eligible for those. And I'm talking about millions of dollars. And I think one of the recommendations in the slides that they showed is access to funding, access to co-mentoring. So I talked about the mentoring team, include a mentor from Competencies. So you'll have a primary mentor, you'll have a co-mentor from US. Exchange of students, even during a short period of time. So exposure to critical thinking, etc. So I think here I'll stop, but my point, I know the minister is still here with us, is really, and I think you left when I said that, so I'm going to say it again, it's really critical that whatever achievements that needs to be done within l'enseignement supérieur or any other branch of the government, it has to be part of the strategic plan of the short and long term of the government, so that when the government changes, the facility of les États-Unis, I've been coming to Morocco for 25 years for the same format and same, we give our opinion, but there is no continuity in things because the government changed and the ministers change and all that. So there has to be some kind of continuity, really, at least in the basics, les fondamentales de l'enseignement, parce qu'on parle d'enseignement supérieur, les fondamentaux de l'enseignement supérieur, il faut qu'on se mette d'accord. Bien sûr, les compétences marocaines de l'étranger, we would like to be part of it. We would like to be part of it, not only as a consultant, we would like to be part of it in developing this strategic plan, because believe me, we are very much aware of the fact that on ne peut pas transposer ce qu'on fait aux États-Unis ici, mais on sait qu'il y a beaucoup de choses qu'on peut faire avec les moyens qu'on a, et je termine sur ça. Merci.
شكرا.